Question?
I'm giving you a header of what we're talking about so that we'll ease you in the question, okay? I'm just telling you what the topic that we're on, so we'll get to a question. Now, the government asked you about a time you met Miss Magbanua. It was actually spring break of March 2014, right?
I believe so.
You went down to Miami, you stayed with your brother Charles.
I went down to Fort Lauderdale after being at Immokalee. I stayed with my brother.
You then went to Miami Beach, to Yardbird, and had dinner outside with your boyfriend at the time, or who you were dating, Jeffrey Lacasse. Catherine Magbanua was there, and your brother Charles Adelson, and you all ate outside, right?
We did.
And that's in Miami Beach, not Fort Lauderdale?
Correct.
Now, just for context, Jeffrey Lacasse, he was also an FSU professor, not at the law school, but an FSU professor. Nice guy, right?
I don't think so now.
Yeah, you deny, I'm assuming, that on July 13th, 2014, you told Jeffrey Lacasse that Charles looked into hiring a hitman. You deny or admit that?
I deny that.
And that you told him that Charles looked into hiring a hitman back in September of 2013.
That never happened.
Which would have been months before your brother even met Catherine Magbanua.
I don't remember when they met.
Letting you know the topic we're on, we're talking about you being involved. That same week, earlier in the week, you sent an email. We're talking about the week of the murder now, not spring break. The week of the murder, not Yardbird. The week of the murder. You sent an email to Jeffrey Lacasse saying that you wanted to break up, that you needed space, right?
I did.
Sent him a long email, stay away, we're broken up, right?
I did.
You know that on July 18th, 2014, Jeffrey Lacasse was leaving town to go on a trip, right?
I knew that he was leaving at some point that week. I don't remember when.
You knew that he was leaving on the same day of the murder at the exact time as the murder.
I don't think I did.
11 o'clock on July 18th, 2014.
I don't think I knew when he was leaving town.
It's a good way to put the blame on somebody else. You agree on that, right? If it happened, it would have been a good way to put the blame on somebody else.
I have no idea when he was going to leave town.
Your interview, July 18th, 2014, you said, my brother, he joked about hiring a hitman. Perhaps that was just planting a seed to divert the attention of law enforcement away from you.
It was not.
Let's jump off topic right now and talk about your boys' names. That in the time after the murder, you changed their last name from Markel to Adelson, right?
A year later.
Why?
Yes. I was scared.
Of what?
Of someone coming to attack them.
So it's a year later. You won't look at anything because you don't want to know what's going on in the case. And the thought is, well, they're going to be protected if they have my last name and not Markel, right?
Yes.
Now, years later, arrests are made. It's clear who committed the murder, Siegfried Garcia, Luis Rivera. The Adelson's name has been dragged through the mud. Why haven't you continued to protect the boys and change the name back?
I'm not going to change the name back. I don't think that will help. One day I'll change all of our names.
The government asked you about immunity, so let's get into that. You explained that as an attorney, you understand that when the government gives a subpoena for someone to testify, that conveys immunity, right?
That's my understanding. My knowledge of criminal law dates back to 2003 when I took a semester in law school. So forgive me.
You graduated law school, right?
This isn't my area of law.
When you clerked on the 11th Circuit, it was Judge Jordan, right?
I did immigration appeals.
But you still dealt with criminal stuff as well, too.
Very little.
So your understanding, though, is it doesn't mean they can't arrest you. They just can't use what you say here against you later on. So you're protected, right?
Correct.
And you needed that to testify.
It's just given to testify. It's not a question of whether I needed it. It comes with testifying.
You fear being charged by them, so you need to have protection.
I don't fear being charged with a crime I didn't commit. No.
No. You all had this nice exchange, or it was pleasant, but there's actually tension between you and this office, right?
No.
They recently had your brother Charles Adelson arrested, and he's in custody, right?
Correct.
First-degree murder,
Correct.
and there's no tension?
It's very uncomfortable to be here. It's hard to tell where the tension is coming from.
They've discussed this. They've discussed your involvement in this case. They insinuated on the direct examination. There's no tension?
Lots of media insinuates that I did something I didn't do, too. I can't feel tension towards every person in the world.
That's funny. I thought you didn't look at anything.
I don't. That's why.
But you know that. You know about the media. But you don't know about the media.
I know about the media because it keeps me from employment. It keeps me from lots of things in my life. I'm aware of what's there, but I don't read the minutiae so I can sleep at night.
Miss Adelson, 5 minutes ago you said you don't look at any of that stuff.
Not actually what I said.
Now I ask you a question, and
I said I'm aware that it exists, but I don't read it.